Hey guys, it's Kirsten. I was just sent this image on how to make the balloons pop, or the girls, how to fix the girl and not the backdrop, and vice versa and whatnot. So in Camera Raw, I am not going to do anything here. I'm just going to leave it and then I'll fix everything in Photoshop. Um, so let's see. A couple things as far as posing. With her hands straight towards the camera like this, it makes her hands look very large, almost like the same size as her face. I would probably have her standing with one hand on her hip or something sassy like a little girl would. Um, my eye goes like, whoa, her hands look really big, which is probably camera distortion. Um, which actually I am going to, I also notice vignetting probably from a 50 millimeter lens. So I always click that and click that because that'll say it'll default to the 50 millimeter. And then, whoop, let's get rid of the vignette. So you can see how it just lightens the edges. And the vignetting, I'm sure, is the 1.8 50 millimeter. All right, I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave everything else that actually makes it look. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open it. Oops, sorry. Something else I was working on. Okay, so how to make the pink pop a little bit. So go to your adjustments. We can do curves. We can do brightness and contrast. So let's do brightness and contrast first. Actually, you know what? I am going to get rid of that for 1 second. To target it, you can get your lasso tool. Let's do, like, for example, maybe these two balloons right here. So if you circle these balloons, then go to adjustment, then go to brightness and contrast, then bump up contrast, for example, get it kind of how you want it. Click on the layer mask and the brush. So using the black brush on the black will erase it. Now hit X to get a white brush. And what we're going to do is we're going to just bump up the contrast. Where we want it. Okay, so the contrast, maybe that's not what we want to do. So I'm going to just get rid of the contrast. So I think one thing I'm going to try is Control J to get another layer. And we're going to click on the burn tool for midtones. Let's start at 50%. You don't have to use a gray layer. That's what Damien said. So, all right, I don't like midtone. Let's try highlight. Nope, I don't like what it's doing with that either. Okay, shadow is at 50%. All right, I like how that's... And you don't have to do the whole balloon. You can just kind of... go around. I wouldn't do this for like every picture in the gallery, but like the ones they're going to buy, if they're going to get a big one enlarged, this could make... Now, I'm going a little heavy-handed for a reason. I'll tell you in a second. All right, I feel like burning works good on the darker balloons. Okay, so now we can go over to the layer and we can kind of play around the opacity. That gives it a little dimension. Not bad. Okay, let's go ahead and flatten that. All right, so one thing I was talking to Mary about on the phone. So for example, and we're not touching her yet. We're going to wait on that. So you go to properties. You go to adjustments. If adjustments is not showing, you just go to window and adjustments, and then it'll make the adjustments show. A lot of people have a lot of tabs open, or like every single one of these open. You can shut them. You can right click on it and just hit close. You don't need to see a million things. I have my tools over here. I have actions that I use, properties to adjust, the adjustment layers right here. And technically you don't even need the adjustment layers there because they're down here on this little circle thing. So you can literally click on any of these, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so one thing I was going to do was just click on levels. Now, let's ignore her and just look at the backdrop. So that pops the white a little bit. That makes it a little dark, makes the blacks a little blacker. Okay, so you can adjust the whole picture here. Then, like I was saying on the phone, you click on the layer mask, Control I inverts it, so now it's hidden. You get the white brush, and you can do this with anything. Paint on any of the actions, adjustments, anything. Change it to a black. Then I'm going to kind of I'm just going to kind of click around here a little bit to give it a little pop of almost like vibrance. Okay, I like that. I'm just going to flatten it so you can see what each thing does. Let's see, we can also go back in here. Let's see. Selective color with the reds. Okay. All right. Bringing the blacks. Let me have a look at it. So I like what that does. So now we can click on the layer, get a black brush. Let's just get it off of her. So that brings the blacks in just the reds. All right, so that's a fun thing. All right, so let's just flatten that to get it away. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on a curves layer, click and have it just be in the RGB. Click on the finger right here, put it on her forehead, or her, I guess her forehead is good. Press down and then drag up and let go. Now click on the layer mask and do Control I, again, to invert it. We have a black mask, mask. So we want a white brush, so hit X until it's white. 100%, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now we're going to paint. Because we want her to be brighter, but not the backdrop. And then just be mindful you don't make a halo around her. If you're not 100% sure where you've painted, you can do the backsplash. That's backslash underneath the backspace. So you can see where you've painted it off. I'm going to actually hit X and erase it because her hands are a smidge lighter. So I'm going to paint it off her hands and just have it be everywhere else. Okay, so let me do... Okay, I definitely like her like that. I think that's good. So another thing I would do, this was shot at 2.8, which is really, really shallow, I think, which usually would cause like the knuckles to be out of focus, or a little bit out of focus. So what I would do, it's hard to tell how far away she is from the background, but I would have probably 4 feet between her and the backdrop. Um, and then maybe shoot at f4, f5.6, to be a little safer. So anyway, I hope some of these techniques with the adjustment layers helped a little, and just making the background pop. And there's different things. Don't ever assume you're doing something wrong. Just assume that an image has probably been photoshopped, and learn how to do it. Okay, I hope this helps. Bye.